So I got this 5-disc changer. It doesn't change discs, and I know the lighting's not too great, but let me show you what it does. You turn it on, and let's open it. This doesn't move, and when you try and change discs, it doesn't turn. It doesn't do anything. Now, I put a 3D printed gear in this about a year ago, and it was doing pretty good, but then it started acting up, and I'm told that it would sometimes not change discs. Sometimes this would spin freely, which is weird because it's not now, so maybe there's a bad tooth. And sometimes it would change discs, sometimes it would work perfect, sometimes it wouldn't. So, and my cat's moving the camera around. So let's take it apart, see what it is, see if my 3D printed gear has failed, and if need to, we'll print out a better one, and go from there. I should have had this drawer slightly open. Now I can move it. There it goes. Just enough so we can pull it. So the gears inside there look okay. And this is the 3D printed gear. Now I only used, I think it was like a 0.4 millimeter nozzle, not the smallest. Not sure if you can see that, but it actually looks pretty good. And the teeth on there, that's good. So let's power it up without the tray, without the changer neck. It's not happy about it, that's for sure. I don't have the... let's plug this in. Something about it, it might even be... I wonder if there's an optical sensor. Excuse me. Cool. Alright, so I'm changing. Let me zoom in. So I am changing disc, but this is not spinning at all. So let me get the multimeter. I'll put that right there so you can see it. Put the probes on here with one hand. You always need like 3 hands to do anything. Yep, we got no voltage, and it's dancing around quite a bit. Oh, there it's not. Okay, well, something's wrong. I'm wondering. We got to see where the power comes, where this wire goes. Looking at this. It's got a pretty nasty crimp in it. I wonder what this goes to. I bet you it's that. So let's unplug it. It's been so long since I've taken this apart. This used to be mine. I actually bought this, oh man, I think in the late 90s. And I'm sorry, I have a cold. I bought this, I believe, in the late 90s at a thrift store. And I used it. And the weird part was, disc 5 never worked. I could never put a disc in disc 5. But everything else worked fine. It didn't make any noises. It just refused to read any disc in disc 5. Now, I could have fixed it, but I just figured, whatever. I don't really listen to CDs. I use, we'll just say, other methods. You know, I like records, tape, that kind of thing. I mean, I have CDs, but they're not my primary. And so it didn't really bother me. Well, I gave it to my mother, and it bothered her. So I fixed it. So I found out it was actually the gear. it had some bad teeth on it, so whenever it would go to disc 5 on the tray, it didn't line up perfectly, and it would just reject it and move back to disc 1 or disc 4, whatever the case may be. So I 3D printed this gear. I don't know what I did with the original one, and it was fine. It was absolutely fine. Okay. All right. So let's just check the continuity of this ribbon. I think that's the problem. And it was probably because it was intermittent. Yeah, I'm not going to force that one out. Yep. We got nothing. Alright, so we got to fix that. Either replace it, which, yeah, good luck with that, or fix it. I'm thinking, I think we can fix it. Alright, so I had to take the whole board out of the tray because this side doesn't want to come out, and I'm wondering, I don't remember doing it, but did I super glue this in the past? Was there a bad connector in there? Which that could also be the problem, and I'm seeing there's a kink on this side as well. Let me see if I can find another cable that matches this. If not, what I'm going to do is try to scrape and expose some of these contacts, and then I'll just run a wire and resolder it, and then we'll just make that nice and stiff so that part doesn't bend. So I exposed the connectors before the kink, and I tested, but I got no continuity. Now I had a container filled with ribbons from things I parted out, but yeah, I have no idea where it is. So I'll have to fix this one, at least for now. The original plan was to expose all of the conductors, on either side of the kink and bridge them with some wire. The problem was my iron's temperature was set far too high, and it basically just melted the ribbon instantly, as you can see here. And really, that wasn't the best idea anyways. So I wound up cutting out the kink and just resoldered the ribbon together. Some may be asking why not just cut off the bad part, expose the conductors, and use that as the plug. Well, I could have, if I didn't tin the ones that were already exposed. I was afraid the ribbon was not going to be long enough, so that's why I wanted to bridge them or at least connect them. But once it was all finished, it wasn't too pretty, but it was functional. Now this wasn't for a customer, it was just for my mother, and she doesn't care as long as it works, same as me. Yeah, as you can see, it's working again. It was just a bad connection due to that ribbon cable. I'll keep an eye out for another that I can replace this one with, but really, as long as it works, that's all I'm kind of really concerned with. If you have any questions or comments, go ahead and leave them down below, and I'll see you next time. Have a good one.